All right, my friends, just driving back from the airport. My daughters and my wife are going to Texas. My wife's best friend from when we lived in Arizona. One of her sons are getting married, so they're going down there to Frisco for a couple of days of marriage counseling. So I just got done sitting through Atlanta traffic, and now I'm on the north end of Buckhead, and we'll be getting home here in about 30-40 minutes or so, as long as there's no traffic in Buckhead and 400 North. We shall see. I just want to point out something while I'm just yapping here. If you find yourself in agreement with the media, you are wrong. I'm telling you. This is a lesson that is hard for many to learn, and I'm just going to share with you why. Because you know the media is lying sacks of crap. We all know this. They always have been. They will forever be. And the reason the media is lying sacks of crap is because the media is the mouthpiece for the government propaganda. And you think, oh, the government propaganda is Trump when it's our guy, or Bush or Reagan. No, it's not. The government propaganda is one world government, man. It is a globalist cabal. Regardless of who was, quote, elected or selected, unquote, however you want to look at it, the government propaganda exists regardless of the guy in charge. And the government propaganda is to do one thing and one thing only: destroy Western traditionalism of individual rights, individual liberty, federalism, Christianity, hell, even freaking Abrahamic religion, and make it a one world government, where you have a fiefdom of those guys at the top and everybody else serving underneath, like a Hunger Games. And I'm just telling you, the lesson for me was in 2000s, after September 11th, where I found myself in agreement with the Washington Post and New York Times about weapons of mass destruction. And I remember saying, look, even the Washington Post says it. You know, CIA found, even the New York Times, you know, the Patriot Act, the genesis of the Department of Homeland Security, TSA, all that stuff. I always say, yeah, we got to do this to fight those Muslims over there before they get us over here. We got to get those guys over there because they're coming. And just reading the hyperbole from the Washington Post and New York Times, and I don't read that crap, but I remember there'd be a lot of articles that were published. I said, look, even those guys understand this. Yeah, it was all one big freaking psyop to get you to sacrifice your liberties. And I tell you, so if you're on the right and you find yourself in agreement with the New York Times when it comes to Ukraine stuff, well, you are wrong. Because the New York Times is the government mouthpiece, man. And the government isn't a pro-American government. It's certainly not pro-traditional Western nationalism. It's just not, man. It's a one-world government. And the New York Times is the mouthpiece for one-world government. It's just that simple. So is the Washington Post. How about the Washington Times? They were owned by Reverend Moon. I don't know. I think he passed, but I'm not sure who owns it anymore. But I'm just telling you, if you find yourself in agreement with the media, to include your own media, on something that you're like, I don't know, man, you're wrong. And so let's talk about the war in Ukraine. A lot of right-wing people are like, yeah, man, I agree with this. Why? Well, because Russia bad. Why? Well, don't you know the communists? Stalin, Khrushchev, Lenin, Andropov, you know, the list goes on and on. Don't you know that, Josh? Yeah, is that what's happening now in Russia? Well, Putin. All right, so who's more pro-Western traditionalism of faith and nationalism? Putin or Zelensky? Putin or Biden? Putin or Bojo from UK, now Liz Truss? Who is more pro-Western traditionalism, i.e. faith, family, country? It doesn't take a rocket science to figure this out, my friends. It ain't freaking our side. It's just not. You can look at some of the Russian propaganda of what they're trying to accomplish. It's still propaganda nonetheless. But who's more faith, family, country right now? And just think about it. I know it's tough because we've been brainwashed for many, many years, and rightly so, because the commies were horrible, horrible people. It's not communists that's running Russia anymore. It's just not. You know, if you say fascist, I just chuckle at you, not recognizing what we are living here, which is complete fascism. Corporate entities controlled by the government, but allowed to make money for the state. And you think about, what's the guy's name from Bush's FDA guy, Scott Gottlieb. He worked, not Bush, Trump. He went from FDA, if memory serves, now he's sitting on the board of Pfizer. That happens all the time. Had nothing to do with Trump. Well, Trump was, no. The government is so much bigger than Trump, man. So much bigger. All these guys, they just move back and forth from the government to private companies where they make bank, back to the government, back to private companies where they make bank. That's fascism 101. The government allows private companies to make money because private companies still have incentives which to make money, but then they trade places, go back and forth. They all get rich, and you and I are their machines essentially. So that right there is fascism, and that's what America is under for sure. That's what all the Western world is, fascist, which is more efficient than socialism. All right. But fascism isn't entrepreneurship. As you can see, the entrepreneurship is being dwarfed here in the United States simply because the insane regulation, increased minimum wage, increased regulation. I mean, you go ahead and try to be a producer of meat. Try to be a butcher shop and see how long that lasts. Try to have a small cattle ranch and see how long you can sell your product to neighbors. No, it's fascism. You're going to have a couple big guys and that's it. And you'll basically sell to them. That's it. And they'll probably, that's why Tyson, I grow poultry for Tyson, Cargill. It used to be Pilgrim's Pride. I'm not even sure if Pilgrim's Pride is an independent entity anymore. But you don't grow for yourself anymore. You grow for a big conglomerate. So anyway, so we got the United States, the UK, NATO, EU, all that stuff is one big fascist conglomerate. That's just a fact. We got Russia, the pricks on the other end. Yeah, I hate communism, 100%. Is Russia communist? No. Is China even communist anymore? No, they're fascist too. I don't want to be affiliated with them either. But when it comes to war in Ukraine, who's more supportive of traditional Western values of faith, family, country, culture? It's not Ukrainian's government. It's not the American government. It's just not. It's not NATO. It's not the EU. It's just not, man. So now, for the left, this is what cracks me up. So I'm aligned with people on the left who still thinks Russia is the mecca of communism. You know, they think Russia, because they've grown up that America bad, Russia good, because this is what the left thinks. And so a lot of these leftists still fall for this false dichotomy. Ooh. Where they sit there and say, oh, climate change is evil. It's evil. And America's bad. EU is bad. Europe West is bad because we're polluting the environment. So I'm going to support the communists. And you're like, well, what is China doing? What's Russia doing? Well, China and Russia are certainly not freaking anti-fossil fuels, you freaking idiots on the left. But you just throw in with Russia because you hate America. But you think Putin is your savior because that's what you've been trained to think, is that the left, i.e. Russia, communist, is your saving grace. And yet you're so scared of climate change, and you think it's American industrialism that has led to that you're now going to be, well, if it's anti-American, it's got to be good. And Russia's anti-American, so it's got to be good. And I'm like, who do you think is more industrializing? The United States or Russia and China? You freaking idiots on the left. But yet you're so trained in this false dichotomy that Russia good, the United States bad. I'm aligned with you fools. Because I see that the bastion of support of Western nationalism, traditionalism of faith, family, country, faith, family, culture, country, culture is not on my side, it's on that other side over there. And you, my leftist friends, are not on my side. And yet somehow you think you are. Well, you don't think you are, but because you're too damn stupid to recognize you're the ones who should be promoting the Ukraine stuff. So I'm reading this guy like Chris Hedges. I say, I can't believe I'm aligned with this guy. I can't believe it. I can't believe this guy's so freaking dumb he doesn't recognize he's on the wrong side of this. Because he's so caught up in the left versus right false dichotomy, and he's so used to being Russia left good, America right bad, he doesn't recognize the sides have changed. So insane. So he's sitting there thinking, so here's the people on the right, my guys, my side. I'm anti-Russia because Russia bad. Are you aligned with the New York Times or Washington Post? Yes. That doesn't concern you? No. Why? Because they're on, for one time they get it right. Oh, okay. So they haven't got it right ever before. Walter Duranty, Kitty Genovese, MSGs, the list goes on and on and on. Never on weapons of mass destruction, all that crap. They never got it right before. Climate change fakery. They never got it right, but now they're right this one time. Could it be because it's propaganda, right wing, easy to sway people? Oh no, this time they got it right. Okay, yeah. Or could it be that there's the reason they're promoting this is for the government, one world government they're promoting since day one. Now it's not under the guise of communism, it's under the guise of fascism, but they'll never say that because everyone's a fascist now. Whoever's the opponent is a fascist, not recognizing what a fascist is. All right, so now you guys idiots on the left, because left-wing people are not that bright. Let's just put it that way. Oh, climate change! Oh! So who are you going to throw in with? I'm going to throw in with Putin. Why? Because communism is good. Capitalism is bad. Oh, my goodness. What's Putin doing? Yeah. He's definitely not anti-fossil fuels, you fools. What's China doing? Yeah, they're definitely not anti-fossil fuels, you fools. Anyway, the point being is, if you find yourself in agreement with the media, that means you are wrong if you're on the right. I'm telling you right now, you are wrong. The media is not for Western traditionalism of individualism, faith, family, country, culture. The medium is everything against that. The media, just look at what MSNBC was saying, hell, freaking 15 years ago. Basically, we own your children. This is the way the state has always wanted it to be. Why do you think commies encourage kids to turn against their parents? They want to break up the family. The family unit is the biggest enemy of a one powerful state. The family unit. And the family unit is important because it's based in religion and faith of a world of God, not of a world of man. I just don't get how people don't see this. And the way to break up the family is how? Is to say God does not exist. So let's get rid of the God, the faith. Who's doing that better? Putin or the West? To get rid of God? Well, definitely not Putin. Who's doing it better to get rid of family? Putin or the West? Well, definitely not Putin again. Putin's promoting families by offering incentives to have children. And what are we doing? Abortion on demand. Freaking no one, I don't want to get too deep in this, but let's just put it this way. Men can't have babies. You know that, I know that. Promoting things that make you not have children. Let's just put it this way. Promoting two family workforces. Promoting debt. So, all right, we got anti-faith is coming from our side. Anti-family is coming from our side. Country. Who do you think is being more nationalistic, Putin or the West right now? Well, America is thrown in with NATO as through the EU. You see what I'm saying? It's not even the EU, like the European Union. It's the one country, the one world government. The New World Order. The Build Back Better. Does not anyone get concerned about you're on the side of the Build Back Better crew? If you're on the side of the Build Back Better crew, I don't know. I mean, I don't understand how right-wing people don't get this. The Build Back Better crew you are aligned with. Well, no, I'm not aligned with them. They're aligned with me. No, you're not. You're not. They're aligned. You are aligning with them because you're giving them legitimacy. Oh, but Josh, you're aligned with the left wing. No, I'm not, because the left wing doesn't know what the hell they're talking about. They're too dumb to be able to put two and two together. My friends on the right are smart enough to recognize if you're nodding your head when you read a New York Times article, you're wrong. I don't expect intelligence from the left because there isn't any. That's how we got here to begin with. I do expect intelligence from the right. So faith, the West is worse. Family, the West is worse. Country, the West is worse. Culture. I mean, do I have to even make... What is the culture of the West right now? Come on, people. Does that mean I'm pro-Russia? No, I'm pro-America. 100% traditional older America. Individualism, federalism, entrepreneurship, frugality. And those things are still here, but they're slowly being, well, actually not even slowly anymore, rapidly being diminished because of the one world government that is being perpetrated on us by anti-Americans who just happen to be in charge of our government. People are going to say, oh man, move to Russia. Well, I don't want to move to Russia. I'm not moving to Russia. I'm not Russian. I'm American. This is where I live. This is where I belong. This is my country. Why would I ever move to Russia? That don't make any sense. I want America to refine its glory in faith, family, country, culture. And right now it ain't there, man. Right now it ain't there. Right now it's far away. But it can come back, and it will, because American people are good. Our government sucks, but our people are wonderful. Slowly but surely, the creeping fascist, socialist, you think fascism and socialism are different. It's the same thing. Everything for the state, ultimately. The creeping one world government has taken over. They've done it by climate change narratives. But wait till you get a cold winter, man, and you'll see how quickly that falls away. So anyway, I'm excited for America, because what's happening is we are going to go back to this by hook or by crook. But what I'm saying is, again, if you're on the right and you're nodding with the New York Times, you've made a mistake in your viewpoint. All right, love your thoughts. We'll see you.